Anyone who's a fan of innovative experimental hip-hop would at some point have heard the name Dabrye. Along with soulmates such as Beans, MF Doom, Vast Air, and a few others, Dabrye's been working on an alternative to the rather cliché-driven style of commercial hip-hop that blares out at us every day on the TV and radio. But the likeable Tad Mullinix, who comes from Ann Arbor, Michigan, also lets off steam in other realms of electronic music, and that under the aliases James T. Cotton, 2AM FM, and SK1. It was through listening to an album by A Tribe Called Quest that he discovered his love for hip-hop, and thus, Dabrye was born.
I listened to an album called The Love Movement by A Tribe Called Quest. In fact, Todd Osborne hit me to the instrumental version of that album, and there's two exclusive beats on that version that isn't on the full official album. And of course, it was produced by Jay Dilla, and this very stripped down, warm yet icy vibe really influenced me a lot. And I was kind of like, yeah, I want to do something like this. And I was really enthusiastic about sound design. And I was, in a way, figuring out how to get this synthetic, machiney sound to this very soulful, warm hip hop feeling. So so that's how I got this sort of in-between-ish sound when it comes to hip hop. But really, in my head, I just hear MCs rhyming over my beats, and I think hip hop is naturally experimental. If it's if you look in a lot of instances, and so I think also that hip hop is a sort of electronic music, so it doesn't necessarily make me feel like when I hear my music that it's something that hip hop-ish. I just feel like it's hip hop.
Serpent in the rainbow, hurts when it rains though. That's not the word, but most still flirt with the wild angel. You come to a point where safety is still inevitable. I speak when not spoken to just to show the records a cool feeling when they spin it. Effort is innovative. Take kids to the beginning and show them the ox native. Got more in plan forms, cause the streets are hard. Like the rhyme flows for shows catching beats off guard. Who's the one to reach those that's hard-headed to the bone? This music ain't fun no more, it's still the rawest of the throne. We'll creep the world atlas, show them what rap was meant to be in every joint. Point out them fake-ass actors. This movement is unavoidable, heavily exploitable. Luckily, pure soul is portable.
I think experimentation is still. I think it's about the same ratio to average formulaic music as there is to experimental music. I think hip hop was birthed from experimentation. I think a lot of music works that way. And I think that's music has to evolve, and it takes experimentation to do so. Listen to people like Madlib and the late Jay Dilla. They're doing some pretty out there stuff, and I think a lot of MCs really like this traditional sound, and I do too. And part of what I love about styles of music are the traditions that you subvert in making the music, and also abide to. But it takes a natural balance to keep something interesting and have a nice, interesting evolution. It's important to have subtle nuances in music. I think that's what makes people listen. Otherwise, if there's no frame of reference and it's just total chaos, then there's no frame of reference, and the context is lost, and I think people become disinterested. I get disinterested when I hear something that's just completely all over the place. So, I think there are people doing some experimental things with hip hop right now, and hopefully will keep evolving. Jay Dilla left a huge footprint at the end of the chronological line of hip hop, and people still have to absorb what he did and move along.
The mic caught niggas broke and my sight was raw. The quote you said was wild childs nobody might explore. The shit that set the party off and ignite the floor. Collide with Dabrye on the beat and say yes y'all. For them kids Wisdom when in front of night and walk with muscle. Block to block, caught up, still wanna knock each hustle. To all my peeps in the streets waving a chance. This is for you, cause now we taking a stand. The one you build with, each and every way. The one you feel the real with, every day will make you say. I speak for those who could never ever say. So who's the man to make you understand?
When my new shit drop, watch your old
Official Ox Detroit collabo. Wild Child, Dabrye on the boards. About to make a stand.
I think a lot of the reason my sound is the way it is because of the location. Like in the Metro Detroit area, there's a heavy techno influence, and you can hear it in people who make hip hop from that area. Like Black Milk, for example, you can hear a very technologically oriented sound, and I think a lot of that is because of the radio, because of the general electronic music scene, the techno scene, and I don't know why, but I feel like Detroit artists in the hip-hop world, like MCs and producers alike, are very keen on this sound, and probably remember a lot of what was being played on the radio by Electrifying Mojo and The Wizard, and in fact, we have a very big ghetto tech. There has been a very big ghetto tech scene, and that again kind of mixes the styles, this urban style, this hip hop style, mixed with the references to early electronic music like Kraftwerk and early new wave music like Visage, and so I think it's a sort of a natural thing. Not a lot of us really realize it, but it's different from other parts of the world that are making hip hop. My music is mostly sample-based. There are some